Friends, it's Terri Gaines, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. In today's video, I'm going to reveal the product behind door number 7 in Stampin' Up's 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. The calendar comes with a stamp set, has 24 stamps. There's some all-occasion images and a wide variety of sentiments for so many different occasions. It's a great stamp set to create with. The calendar is this beautiful box that opens up, and there are 12 different doors. I have already opened door 1 through 6. Today I'm going to open up door number 7, reveal the product behind it, take a little break to collect some supplies, and then I will make a card with the product behind door number 7. So the doors are perforated. I'm trying to preserve the box because I have some ideas on how to repurpose this. I have 2 ideas. So I want to repurpose the box. It's absolutely beautiful. So behind door number 7, there is, oh, we got some more dies. That's going to be nice to create with. So we had dies behind door number 1. So there's a wide variety of product that's been revealed. In the text portion of this video, I'll link to a playlist that shows my video 1 through 6. And as I mentioned, I'm going to take a quick break, collect some supplies, and make a card using the product that I've already, the stamp set most likely, and maybe some product I've already revealed along with this die set. So I'll be right back. I've collected a few supplies and I have a card idea in mind, and I first wanted using these dies that I just revealed, and I did take some time to cut them out of basic white cardstock, and I put them on an old olive piece of cardstock just to see their sizes, their shapes, and this smaller one has some cute stitching around it. So initially I thought I would make a card front putting this die here, this one here, this one here, and put 2 of those. That would make a nice little square type design. But I came up with a different idea. My idea is using a card sketch in the Inking of You card sketch booklet. I've been using this booklet throughout my series of videos. It's a booklet of 131 card sketches, a consolidation of card sketches that I created over almost a 3-year time frame for sharing ideas with customers along with team member events. And I consolidated these into a booklet, 22 pages, and this is free to team members and also free with the $75 order, 1 per customer. So I was looking through here and I saw card sketch 126, and I thought this might work out good with that large square die. So I have cut 3 of these images out. We've got some decorative images here and a 1/2-inch strip along here. So I did cut a 1/2-inch strip. I'm going to show how I'm going to add color to that. And this is the card sketch that I'm going to reference. At the end of my video series, I'm going to put all my card samples and the card sketch into a PDF project sheet. And anybody who purchases the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar with me, or selecting me as their demonstrator, will get that free along with all my team members. So I'm excited to share my idea for this card. So I have already cut the die out of this designer series paper. The designer series paper was revealed behind door number 2. It is one-sided and there were several beautiful prints. I chose this print. So I'm going to have these turned on an angle on the card front. I cut a basic white out of that. So I'm going to move these out of the way. And then behind door number 1 was a set of dies. It was these dies right here. I've showed some of these already. I'm going to use this die right here for the card. So I have that out. And then I'm also going to use the embellishments that were behind door number 3. So I'm going to show some stamping here and see if this is all going to work out the way I planned. So I want to stamp some flowers for the decorative image, and I do have some options here. I have these options, but what I want to do is I want to use the butterfly. I'm going to use the butterfly to create a flower. I did this in a previous video as well. and I really like how it turned out. I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. My goal for these videos, this video series, is only use basic white cardstock. So in saying that, if I want a colored layer, normally would go to our cardstock colors. I'm going to create it with ink, or decorate it or color it with ink. Maybe that's the best word to say. So back to the butterfly stamp. I have my Misty Moon ink, and the reason I started about the cardstock, I have 7 different colors I've used so far. I'm trying to stay within that color selection I have. So I'm going to use Misty Moonlight. I'm tapping the ink. I just want the ink on the surface. If you push hard into the ink pad, it gets into the crevices and your image is not as detailed as if it's just on the surface. So I stamped the butterfly, I lifted it up, and I stamped it again over here. So I have a first generation ink and second generation ink. I'm going to tap it again and turn this and place these wings between these spaces of the previous stamped wing and fill it in to get a flower shape. And it's not a perfect petal flower shape, but you know what? It's going to be perfect for how I want to work with this. So I'm going to do 2 of these. So I'm going to stamp another one here and another one here. And I don't really care for that gap in there. So I'm going to try to fill that in a little bit. But you know what? When you have something you don't care for, you just camouflage that. You just put that underneath a layer, because the rest of that flower turned out perfect, and you just camouflage that part if you're not happy with that. So I like this a little bit better, but you know what? It's all good. There's nothing wrong with this. So these need to be cut out. Now I said I want to color, or I want to die, cut out this die image, and I'm staying with the blue colors because of the designer series paper. Oh, excuse me. Something in my throat. So I'm going to close up that ink pad for now, and I'm going to take my Night of Navy. There's a little bit darker color blue in there, and I'm pretty sure that's Night of Navy. So I'm going to take my Night of Navy ink, take a clear block, and just tap my block into my ink pad, and then I'm going to put it on my paper and just swirl it a little bit to try to get the color off of it. And that didn't work out so well this time. I do have a piercing mat underneath. I'm going to just slip that out to see, is it better if I just go right to the harder surface? Now, I did this ahead of time and it worked out much better. And for whatever reason, in a previous video, I shared that I had a piece of paper underneath this wood grain, caused an issue stamping. So there's nothing underneath there. I'm just not getting the color of ink I want on here, but do trust me that it did work earlier. And just maybe I need more ink in my ink pad. That might be the case. And look what I just did. I ruined that flower, but I can camouflage that. Goodness, all is good. So here's what I did earlier. I did this earlier and got a lot more ink on this, and I just need to do a little bit more, I guess, or ink my ink pad. And then I cut 5 of these dies out of here. So I did that work ahead of time. So now I have that for my my decorative image. And then for these, what you would do is just cut them out. So I want to use, I'm going to cut one of them out. Before I go any further, I'm going to close my ink pad just to preserve the ink and make sure I don't put nothing in. Take that to the sink and rinse it, and that will all be good. Oh, I wasn't done. Okay, we got to get back to this. So let's see if this next attempt will work. This 1/2-inch strip, I want to color that one with Misty Moonlight. So I have another block, and oops, I'm going to just here, I'm just going to swirl this ink on. I'm okay that I have white space, and it's a bit dark because it's so much ink on here, but that's okay. And I am totally okay that I've got some white space in there. I just wanted to add color for that strip. As I mentioned earlier, if I wasn't concerned and trying to stay within my commitment of just using white cardstock, I would get a strip of Misty Moonlight cardstock out of my bin, but this is going to be perfect. So now I think we're done. I'm done stamping. I'm going to move this scrap paper, grid paper out of the way. We have that. Give that a little bit of time to dry. For the back to the flowers, what I'm going to do is just cut around here. I'm not a fan of fussy cutting, but I do it on occasion as needed. And as I mentioned, I could have chose a stamped image that had a die, but I wanted to use these butterfly images for flowers. So what I do is I keep my scissors in a stationary position and I move the paper. That gives me a better image. I am right-handed, so I put the blade on the right side and my paper's on the left side, so I can view how much spacing I have between the stamped image and the scissors to get somewhat of a consistent border. I do leave a white border. I find I'm not good at going right to the paper or the ink, and I'm going to put it on white cardstock. It's camouflaging every imperfection. Now I also pre-stamp or pre-cut 2 of these out. So I'm going to have 2 light colors. You know what? I'm going to have 2 dark colors and 1 light color. So I'm only going to put 3 flowers. I think I want to do that. So that's what I have so far. So remember the card sketch had that 1/2 inch strip on the bottom, the 3 tilted. In the card sketch, this was 2 inches. I believe these 2 were 1 3/4. Mine are all the same size and they're probably about 2 1/4. Totally okay. Card sketches are the beginning point of your inspiration. So I brought in my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5. I folded it in half, and you can use your bone folder to crease it, or you can score it with your your scoring blade, and at 4 1/4 and fold it. So this little strip is going to go I'm going to put it pretty close to the bottom. So I'm going to use my silicone craft mat just to put this down, put my adhesive all the way along there, and I'm going to put this maybe about 1/4 inch from the bottom. And good with that. Then I'm going to put these 2 down next. And the decision is what corner to mostly reveal. I really like that small cluster of flowers. I'm going to reveal that on that side. And what do I want? I see this smaller cluster here. I like that. I'm gonna see if this fits. I'm gonna put it like this. So I'm gonna put those down first. I'm just gonna move this out of the way and just move it here. I like to keep my adhesive stationary and rotate my paper. And when I use my silicone craft mat, it doesn't allow me to rotate the paper. So we all have our ways of doing things, and that's the beauty of this. You can do it your way. All right, oops, I don't want that one down there yet. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this. And I wanted this little grouping of flowers to maybe be visible. I'm not sure if they'll be visible. Now I also want to make sure I have the same spacing there. I'm going to look at that corner and look at this spacing. And also when you do this, you can kind of look to see how they line up there. And this is a trial. I think we're going to be good right like that. I'm good with that. I'm going to pop this one up with dimensionals. I like the dimensionals. They're really strong. They add dimension, just like their name. And they're very strong adhesive. Love them. So I'm going to take the backings off with my Take Your Pick tool. And then I'm going to put this one right in the center. Just look for... Now what I can do, I'll put this down and show you what you can do if you want to duplicate this card. I look for spacing here, but you can also see you've got the same type of little opening here, here, and here. That tells me I did pretty good for getting everything aligned. I think yesterday's card I didn't do so well, but I was okay with it. It turned out fine. Now I'm going to take my flowers and I'm going to bend the petals downward. Then I'm going to turn them and bend them upward. So I just go upside down then and just turn these petals up a little bit just to give some dimension. And I'm going to put a dimensional behind each one of them. So I want to do this to all 3 of them. I'm only going to use 3 of the 4 that I have cut out. And remember I said we can camouflage any petals we're not really happy with how they turned out. They're totally fine, but you want to showcase the ones you're like the best. So let's see, how do I want to arrange these? I'm going to go like that. Or do I want to add this one in instead? I think, let's see, I haven't done a prototype of this, so most of the time when I do my videos, I do a prototype ahead of time. You don't get to see all of this thought process going on. So am I going to like that better? Because remember, I'm tucking in these, you know what, I think I might want to go 2 light color and 1 dark color. And I might just put them right like this. I'm going to put the dark color one up here. Now the reason I only put a dimensional right in the middle, you only need 1. It's a smaller image, and I tend to say sometimes 1 dimensional may let an image swivel a little bit, but I'm okay with 1 dimensional behind the flowers. So you can see these petals like this. I'm turning them inward because they can be camouflaged with that I'm gonna offset this one just a little bit that way, offset that one a little bit that way. Hopefully this works out. And then for this one, let's see, I'm just gonna put that one right like that. I think I'm good with that. All right, so I'm going to bring my silicone craft mat back in, and I'm going to use the multi-liquid purpose glue to attach these dyed images. I want to call them greenery. I mean, they're greenery, but they're in blue colors. So when I say greenery, it doesn't sound right when they're not green. I'm going to take and tap that into my multi-purpose liquid glue, tuck it underneath, and just press that down to get that to adhere. I have 5 of these to place throughout this decorative image area. And, oh, I got a little bit too much glue on there. That's okay. I'm tucking it all underneath, and it's not going to go anywhere. Push that down with my finger to get that to bond. I have a trouble picking these up. I'm going to tuck one right here. I got 2 more, or yeah, 2 more I can use. I'm going to take one and tuck it underneath here. Okay, I have 1 more. Do I want to use that? And if I do, where would I put it? Maybe I'll just double up that one right there. I'm going to put some adhesive behind there and just double up that guy right there. Now, you can put that wherever you want, and I am liking that. I think it's turning out pretty good. I like that. So just push that down, get that adhesive. It dries clear, but most of the adhesive is tucked underneath. I can see a little bit of adhesive right here. Just be sure it dries before you tuck it in an envelope. So let's bring the silicone craft mat back in. I'm going to use these beautiful embellishments that were behind door number 3. They are not adhesive back. They're a gold glimmer dot or gem, and I'm going to use multi-liquid purpose glue and put a dab of glue in the center of each one of these 3 flowers. And take your pick tool, the putty end. Well, first I need to turn these upside down. There's a flat side and then there's a round side. I'm going to take the larger of the 2 sizes and pick it up with my putty on my Take Your Pick tool and put it on the adhesive. And I'm just gonna push it down a little bit. I've got too much adhesive. It's oozing out on the sides. It's gonna dry clear. And that is my card. I am very happy with it. I'm good with just the gems here. If you wanted to, you could sprinkle some in here, but I want the focal point to be right in the center. So I'm gonna say I am happy with my card. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and are enjoying my video series. If you look in the text portion of this video, you'll find my playlist. I'm adding all my previous videos, including this video, to my playlist. So it's one spot to go to see my series. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Take care and happy creating.